Alright, in this video we're going to be going over the more traditional medieval houses from the Dollar Tree Fairy Garden line. And I saved the best for last. These are absolutely great for wargaming. I mean, these are like, mwah, perfect! Except maybe the scale a little bit. But these are going to be the ones like you want to pick up first. And that's why I saved the best for last. But anyway. Let's go over these. There's some thatched roof ones here. There's some regular roof. And there's a little surprise back here for the last one. So the first one we're going to get is, this is a very Christmas Village looking style house. This is the ones I got a bunch of. Well, you know what? The reason why I say that is because I took a Christmas Village and I painted it in this color scheme. So this is what I think of when but the ones I have that I repainted are porcelain. But I got these red roofs with the tan and all that. So I have a bunch of these, but they're porcelain. I mean, we don't use them that much anymore, but when we first got into wargaming, I really used them. I leaned heavily on them. And they do the job, you know? This one has a window up here with some flowers on it. This one has some flowers down here next to this window. A nice arched door with a step up on the side here. We have some more windows that are not picked out. You may want to pick those out. And what do you call this? A gable. And there's a gable right there and a green gable, so remember that. And the back is pretty plain. Not much to see here. They did paint the grass and the rooftop, so that's not terrible. There's not much else you need to put on there. It's not pour molded, but it almost looks pour molded. Here's the top. Now this has a wash on it. Or they used some kind of a watered down inky paint, you know, just speed paint it. The thing I did miss is there is a little tiny window up here that's not picked out as well. So we're going to put a Mordheim guy up here for scale. Little small, not terrible. That's on the top step, that's down here. So it's not terrible, but it's not the best. But it's okay, not terrible. All right, well, moving on. Here we have a thatched roof right here. This one's pretty sweet. It's got some flowers going up. Has a little lantern on there. Small little window. Arched doorway. It looks like it has a basket down here with roses in it. A gable. A little chimney on top. On the side here, this window is picked out. Some grass and a dirt base. The back side has, the thatching is, it actually looks washed and dry brushed. Not terrible. There's some detail down here that is not picked out. It's supposed to be green, but it's not. But the brown is picked out. This side has a picked out window, plus a gray, I think you would put like firewood here, a little storage side building kind of built in. It's a little, you see, it's thin, but not terrible. Our fantasy human is right at home in this very tall, narrow doorway. So, not a bad pick. This isn't really a thatched roof. This is kind of just like a stick, wiki up style roof. We have some blue and yellow flowers on the top and on both sides of the doorway. An arched stone doorway with 2 windows on either side. Not too terrible. Moving around, not much going on the back side. And this tie here, it's painted all the way around green. I mean, they really did a good job on these. I mean, I'm not painting mine. I'm not repainting this. Here's the Marienburger. He's a little large for the doorway. And our goblin fits perfectly in there. No big deal. All right, that's that one. Next we have like the bent roof deal. I don't know what they're, I mean, it's, you know, it's whimsical. That's what they call that, whimsical. It's got 2 flower pots on either side. 2 windows here. These shutters are open, which is a nice touch. These shutters are open on the side and an arched doorway. And we have a gable here with a window. It's sort of picked out. It's sort of picked out. On this side, we have a window here and up top. They're both picked out. Not terrible. The grass is picked out. Nice dry brush on this thatched roof. And there's a chimney right here. Nicely picked out. Here the back side is pretty plain. They just have this roof like run over, but this is not picked out. This is pretty plain, not terrible. But from the front side, that door is kind of halfway open if you see. And here's a fantasy human. Pretty well proportioned for a fantasy human. And here's a little goblin. And here is the gnome that it's built for. Pretty well proportioned. That's a pretty cool house. I like this house. This would do good for anthropomorphic animals. You know, burros and badgers, Guelph, you know, Quar's War, things of that nature. A really nice generic going into town kind of village look. Next is we have a British thatched roof, very medieval, you know, 1400s or earlier look to it. We have two windows and a door. Have some bushes. Have some knot holes in here. Like this is like all one solid piece of wood. This is bumped out. Chimney. The backside has some detail, some knot holes in it that are not picked out. This side has some nice what do you call it? It's like elven. What is it called? It's not modernist. It's I forgot what they call this style. But it looks like an elf house. But these windows could use a little detailed out with some paint. This would be a great elven house. So here's our fantasy human, which is way too large for this door. And our goblin barely makes it into this door. And here is our gnome next to the house. I really like this house. This house is very cool. Ooh, we'll save that one for last. This one is also a thatched roof, but it's kind of got that witch hat look to it. It's kind of goofy. I don't really like this like bent over thing. I get it. But it reminds me of Orko from He-Man. And it's like, oh my God, this is a freaking idiot. You know, So when you associate it with something negative in your life, you kind of like, you write all of it off. So we got a pink. That is not actually a mushroom. That is a little extension of the house. There's a window here that has not been picked out. It has a pink top on it. It's supposed to be a mushroom. There's a window here, window here, window here as well. There's some vine work and a little flower and a very, very small door here. We have some vine work and flowers up here along with our chimney, which looks extremely flammable. I would not suggest starting a fire in here. There's also a little gable here with a picked out window. Very nice detail. The stone on the back is washed out, so that's nice. All this paint out back here is all good. And let's do a little size comparison. As you can see, this guy goes almost up to the second story, or he actually does go up to the second floor. So the scale is not perfect, but you know, from if it's way back here, and he's way over here, and forced perspective, you know. And then here's our little gnome right here. So there's that one. And the last, and it's not my favorite. This is really not my favorite, but if you like Lord of the Rings and you need a hobbit hole, here is the perfect hobbit hole. Holy cow, does this look awesome. Now it's got some yellow flowers here. That is a red mushroom, a pink flower, a nice little round hobbit door, purple flowers along the top. What more can you ask for? You know, it's got a little side like chicken coop, a round window, and a bumped out square window. There's a little chimney on the top. Now this thing is plain Jane on the back. This is why it's not my favorite. It's very plain on the back, and it's flat. It is very, very flat. They you know, they got to work with what they got. So that in order to get like it real big like this, they had to squish it and make it skinny. you know, because they only got so much Resident Evil free, you know. So that is our little Hobbit hole, Lord of the Rings. You get a couple of these, you can make a little, a bag end, you know, kind of deal. So not terrible. Here is a goblin up against there, so a hobbit's going to work really well against that. Here's your little gnome, and he fits in there just perfectly. His hat's he's gonna have to bend down for his hat, but that's okay. And our human hero, I mean, that's, if you've seen Lord of the Rings, you know that's just about the perfect size for what the Hobbit houses look like. So that is the last in the series of this dollar store stuff. And thanks for watching, and have a good one, and I'll see you next time.